of hours of time to watch me and not $5.
Wait, that's not actually who we're talking about today. It's confusing, trust me. I just can't keep track of all of these entitled e-girls begging for money on Twitch. Yep, boys, we've got another one. Today we're going to be talking about Twitch's latest bad girl, InvaderVie. For some reason, there seems to be a prevailing attitude in some smaller Twitch streamers that their streams are inherently valuable to everybody who watches and they should all be paid subscribers. That is the case with InvaderVie today. Like always, guys, my videos are not intended to encourage anybody to go after anybody else. It's just constructive criticism and, talking about something that's a hot issue with the community. So with that said, let's get right into this drama. I'm gonna have to open up with the obvious. If you stream on Twitch and you have to resort to arguing with your fans in order to guilt them into sending you money, you're not doing Twitch right. In this case, it's clear. InvaderVie seems to be a just chatting streamer. This essentially means that she just sits in a room and talks to people in chat without playing any video games on a video game streaming site. It kind of seems like every streamer who gets exposed for begging for money is a just chatting streamer. I'm not saying anything about just chatting. I'm just saying that, a lot of bad streamers kind of congregate to just chatting. I'm not saying it's easy or anything, but I'm honestly, I don't know if it's because just chatting seems to be lower effort than any other stream, or because the people who tend to make it on just chatting are e-girls that wear just barely enough clothes to slip by Twitch's guidelines. Regardless though, when InvaderVie decided that she wasn't making enough money, despite being her fabulous self, she decided to start asking people to subscribe. But she was faced with a dilemma. Oh, poor InvaderVie. Despite doing her usual content, there were not enough people subscribing or donating. Now I know what you're thinking. Who would? No, who could watch a just chatting stream without subscribing? Well, InvaderVie, she just couldn't take it. So she decided to shame her viewers into giving her a $5 Twitch subscription. But before we get to that, do you know that the majority of you watching right now are not subscribed? It would mean a lot to me as a growing creator if you decided to hit that subscribe button. And the best part about it is, on YouTube, it's free. I'm not asking you for $5. I'm just saying it's free. You just gotta click that little red button. And it's the same thing with liking too. That's also free. It's right down there. It's pretty easy to reach. So if you haven't already, I really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe and like buttons. Maybe even turn notifications on so you don't miss an upload. Also, I kind of try to respond to every comment, so if you want to discuss anything with me, feel free to do it down below. Anyway, let's get to our first clip for this, for real this time.
It doesn't really matter how much money you make or how much money you have. That's really the thing, because I'm not asking you for a large financial contribution. If it costs $20 to sub, $20 is quite a bit of money. $20 is, you can get a full meal for $20, and the difference of $20 and eating a meal is in that $20, that's where it is. But a sub is $5. At maximum, in whatever your currency is, it's maybe $10.
So she's taking the same approach as Bad Buddy did a few months ago, saying that $5, it just isn't that much, it's just $5. But her comparison is all wrong. She sets up a straw man argument, basically, by saying that if it was $20, that would be too much, because that's the cost of a meal. But in comparison, $5 is nothing. Now, of course, she pulled the $20 price out of thin air because it makes it seem like $5 is less. And honestly, she's right that $5 is less than $20. I'm glad to see that she managed to pass first grade math. She's not wrong that $5 isn't a large financial contribution for some of the people watching. But I do gotta say, first off, $20 is way too much to pay for a meal unless you're going out to eat. Even then, if you're feeling lazy, you can get a burrito for like $10 at Chipotle. Or, you could make some pasta for less than $1 a serving. Almost literally everybody I have ever met has had the experience of being a broke college student. And if you have gone through college yet, you know what I mean. Basically, you don't have that much money because you're in college, you're working a part-time job, you're trying to survive, you're paying your rent because you live off campus, whatever, you gotta pay for gas, heating, alcohol, all the stuff that college students need to survive. You gotta pay for those textbooks too, somewhere in there. So you're looking at your bank account, it's just going down and down and down and down and down. You're like, uh-oh, I can't afford anything though. What am I gonna do to eat? So you gotta make yourself some pasta. There are times when you're in college and you're living off pasta and stress. Looking back on it, it was not a great time. So I gotta say that for her to say that $5 isn't a lot of money, there are people out there where $5 is the difference between a meal and going hungry. On this point, she just needs to get some perspective. I'm assuming she never went to college or she was never poor or whatever. She just needs some perspective.
And it doesn't matter how broke you are. If you have time to watch Twitch, you have $10, truly. If you don't have $10, you probably don't have time to watch Twitch because you should be working. You should be trying to earn money. It's not a ton. It's not like a ton of money. So being like, I'm broke, I can't afford to sub, that doesn't really track. What you mean to say is, I'm so irresponsible with my money, I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy.
Again, she spoke that like a true California girl who's never had to work a day in her life. I don't know if she hasn't been paying attention to the news, but there are not very many places hiring right now. We're in an unprecedented situation with the highest unemployment rates in a long time, and people aren't even supposed to leave their house, so it's kinda hard when you tell them to go out and get a job right now instead of watching your stream, especially if they're only doing that to make the $5 to pay for the optional subscription to your stream. And if they're already in a bad situation, you can't expect anybody to go out and do that right now. I just don't understand. Maybe she doesn't watch the news. Maybe she doesn't know that we're all locked down. I don't know. Even if this wasn't happening right now, if everything was normal, if nobody was, staying inside for weeks at a time, there are people out there who work low-income jobs or who don't make that much more than they have for expenses. So they got money coming in, but they got a lot of money going out, and it almost equals out. I'll admit that neither of those things are anything that anybody should aspire to, but it's something that happens, and people don't really have a choice sometimes. And those people who don't have that much money and can't afford to spend $5 to buy something optional on a Twitch stream, they deserve the same thing as everybody else. They deserve that time to unwind at night, watching TV, surfing the net, tuning into their favorite Twitch stream. I mean, that's why Twitch is free, isn't it? The point is to entertain the masses, not to enrich streamers. I will not question why people couldn't afford a $5 subscription to your stream, but what I will question, what I'd like to question, is why they would even bother to tune in the first place. And honestly, I'm not the only one to think that way. I mean, I don't think it would be an understatement to say that the majority of the community is against her comments here. She was immediately called out by some of her own fans in the chat for being greedy and rude and the like. Her response? She belittled her own viewers and called them cheapskates. I really do wonder how she has managed to keep anybody watching for so long to build a career.
Oh my, so here we have some excellent 300 IQ comments from the Peanut Gallery. This conversation sucks. This is weird. Yikes. These are exquisite contributions to a very good conversation. And these people in chat who are making these comments do not appear as immature, childish cheapskates whatsoever.
Even the tone of her voice is cringe in that clip. When I was in high school, I worked part-time at a grocery store. You know, the stereotypical American after-school job. It's kind of like working in hell, but slightly worse. In my time at that job, I had to deal with plenty of the, "Excuse me, I need to speak to your manager" type people, and she sounds exactly like them. There's something just so arrogant about the way that she reads out the comments that she's seeing. You can tell that she does not even consider the idea that she might be in the wrong. And I'm not sure why, but that bothers me a lot. I feel like there are a growing number of streamers and YouTubers out there who are just in it for the money, and that just ain't it, chief. To have the audacity to blame your audience and call them cheapskates when they won't pay to subscribe to you on a platform that allows for free viewership, it's just mind-boggling to me. And it's not like you can't make money. You can run ads on Twitch. If you're a Twitch partner, you can run ads and make money. Like, you don't need to make everything from subscriptions and donations and all that. It just blows my mind. How can you expect anybody to keep watching you when you treat them like an ATM? It's not like it would be that hard for people to go out and find another generic just chatting e-girl to watch. One who wouldn't berate them. Or better yet, they could go on to watch some actual content. The thing that it seems a lot of the people don't realize is that Twitch is free. The idea that you can make a living on Twitch is directly tied into your ability to build a community, to get people to watch you, not just for what you're doing on stream, but for who you are. If you are able to build that kind of relationship with your audience, then you don't have to beg for money. People will donate and subscribe because they like you. And it's kind of like, going out to get a beer with your friend. Back when nobody used the word influencer, this wasn't that big of a problem. People identified as YouTubers and streamers, and that meant that you had built a community. That you had a community around you and behind you. But these new influencers, they don't want to be part of their community. They just want to influence their viewers in a way that maximizes profit for them and for their partners. I think that smells something really bad for YouTube and Twitch in the future. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think about all this? I think it's a mess, and it seems to be happening more and more. I'd be curious to hear if anybody actually agrees with InvaderVie, or if there's basically universal condemnation of her actions. I also want to thank you guys so much. The support on the channel has been massive in the last few weeks. I'm not really sure why, but we've been doing great numbers, and I want to thank you guys so much for that, so much for sharing it, so much for liking, so much for commenting. And if you're a new subscriber and you want to join us for the ride to the top, hit that button right now and turn on notifications. You will not regret it. And also, as always, if you've watched this long, you might as well click that like button because, well, you'd have clicked off already if you didn't like the video, right? Anyway, have a great day, and God bless you.